Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk About Sleep, where we talk about sleep. My book, the link is in the description box down below to Amazon, or if you're so inclined you can get it there. As I always say, these videos are for educational purposes only. Any medical decision making you should discuss with your provider. So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, as part of our sleep apnea series, we're going to go over the newer version of CPAP, or a newer version of CPAP called travel CPAPs. I get asked about these quite a bit. So if you remember from our previous videos, we have CPAP and we have auto-PAP, right? So in both cases, CPAP is continuous, auto is auto-adjusting, positive airway pressure. That's what the PAP means. So basically pressurized air that comes into the nose, goes all the way down to the back of the throat, forces the airway open. Great. So the ones we're going to get from an insurance company, or kind of what are standard, are the home base CPAP units. And what they are, they're about the size, square inch wise, of actually this book. Okay, they're kind of like a clock radio, right? Sits on the nightstand, plugs into the wall, long tube. The mask hooks onto the nose, or above the nose, or the nose and mouth. Pressurized air comes in, goes all the way down to the back of the throat, forces the airway open. Okay, great. Auto-adjusting machine, same thing. All right. What a travel machine does, it does that exact same thing, right? It's just pressurized air, but they're much smaller. Okay, they're about the size of like this glasses case, for example. Okay, and because they're so much smaller, patients have an easier time traveling with them. Although I'll say that the home units these days are small enough to be travel friendly. I have patients who go to China, Europe, all over the place with their home units. Okay, so CPAP's been around since 1982. In that time, like all technology, it's gotten smaller, quieter. This is not your father's CPAP, as it were. Okay, but people still, despite the fact that the home units are travel friendly, they ask for or want that kind of even smaller step. So if the travel machines do basically everything that a home unit would do, why would we not just go to a travel machine? Because they're smaller, right? Couple problems. One is insurances don't always cover them. Okay, in most cases, actually probably 99% of the time, they don't cover them, and they can be kind of expensive, anywhere from $500 to $1,000, sometimes even more. Okay, but the bigger problem is so most, or not most, all home machines have humidification capability. So anybody who has CPAP, they'll tell you they have to get distilled water or bottled water that they put into a chamber. The chamber gets heated up, and then that water basically gets evaporated into the air. And when they breathe that in throughout the night, they get warm, humidified air. Okay, it makes it much more tolerable than cold, dry, otherwise unpleasant air. Not everybody needs it, but most people do find that the humidification does make it a little bit more palatable. Okay, the travel machines, they haven't really figured out how to do that great yet. Some companies like ResMed, they have some proprietary technology where they'll basically take moisture out of the air and put it into the mask that way. The travel machines will, but it's not as good. And you don't need humidification, but if it's something that you rely on with a home unit, you may find that the travel ones are not quite as good. Okay, I also hear that they may make noise. Okay, the home units are usually very, very quiet. But that aside, they do work, right? All this is pressurized air. Remember, it's a very simple concept, and the travel machines can do that. All right, so it's something for you to be aware of. Okay, they have both CPAP units and auto PAP units. Okay, just like we talked about in a couple videos back. So those two things are well covered. If somebody needs a more advanced machine, I'll make another video about this down the road. ASV, that's adaptive servo ventilation. That's for more complicated cases. The travel machines can't do that yet. If people need a BiPAP and other kind of more advanced technologies, the travel machines really aren't there yet. Okay, but for just straight up CPAP or auto PAP, you can definitely get this. Okay, so definitely talk to your provider if you have questions about that. If you have questions for me, leave them in the comment section, and I will. I'm doing these once a month videos where I answer questions kind of in a block form. Okay. So, if you like this video, please click like. Please subscribe to the channel. What I'm going to be doing is after we get to 1,000, I will send a signed copy to a random viewer. Okay, so something to look forward to, right? And pass this on to your friends and family. Anybody who's on CPAP, who is considering a travel machine, this might be useful to them. And yeah, until next time, everybody, sleep well.